my child, before you turn away, hear my heart. When I ask, have you really chosen to deny me? It is not the question of an angry father looking to condemn you. It is the question of one who loves you deeply and longs to draw you back into close fellowship. I know how easy it is for life to become crowded with worries, responsibilities, disappointments, and distractions. I know there are seasons when your faith feels quiet and your heart feels distant. Yet even in those moments, my invitation has remained the same. Come to me. You may think these words found you by chance, but I invite you to pause and consider why your attention stopped here. You have carried questions that no one else has fully understood. You have wrestled with doubt, disappointment, or weariness in ways you rarely speak about. There have been moments when you wondered whether I was still near, whether your prayers mattered, or whether you had drifted too far to hear my voice again. My beloved, I have never stopped seeing you. I have never stopped calling your name with patience, compassion, and love. Sometimes denying me is not always loud or intentional. Sometimes it happens quietly, when fear becomes easier to trust than my promises, when busyness leaves little room for prayer, or when discouragement convinces you that hope is no longer worth holding on to. I understand the weight you have carried. I know the disappointments that have shaped your thinking and the burdens that have left your spirit tired. Yet none of those things have changed my desire to walk with you. Do not move past this message too quickly. If you leave now, you may miss an opportunity to reflect honestly on where your heart has been and where I am inviting it to go. You may overlook the peace that comes from drawing near again, or the reminder that my grace is greater than your failures. But if you remain, if you listen with humility instead of fear, you may discover that my call is not one of rejection but of restoration. You may find courage to trust again, strength to begin again, and confidence that my mercy has been reaching toward you all along. Beloved, I know you have stumbled. I know there were days when your faith seemed small and your questions seemed endless. Yet I have not turned my face away from you. I have remained faithful through every season, waiting not to shame you but to welcome you. My love has never depended on your perfection. It has always invited you to return, to listen, and to walk with me one step at a time. So stay here for a little longer. Set aside the voices of guilt, hurry, and discouragement. Open your heart to hear my voice with fresh ears. What follows is not a declaration that all hope is lost. It is an invitation to rediscover the relationship I have always desired with you. This moment is not about condemnation. It is about calling you closer, and the message that follows begins with that invitation. My child, I have watched your heart grow distant from me in ways you barely noticed yourself. It did not happen all at once. There was no single moment where you decided you no longer cared about me. It happened quietly while life kept pulling your attention in every direction. You became overwhelmed with responsibilities, worries, disappointments, and thoughts you did not know how to carry anymore. Somewhere inside all of that noise, you stopped sitting with me the way you once did. You kept moving forward outwardly, but inwardly your spirit became tired in ways you could not fully explain. I know you still believe in me. I know there is still love for me inside your heart. But you started building emotional distance because part of you became afraid of being disappointed again. There were prayers you thought I answered too slowly. There were seasons that confused you deeply. You looked at certain pains in your life and quietly wondered why I allowed them to happen. Instead of bringing those questions honestly to me, you learned how to bury them beneath distractions and routines. You stayed busy because slowing down would force you to face the emptiness you were trying not to feel. There were nights when your body felt exhausted, yet your mind refused to rest. You searched for peace in temporary things, hoping something would finally quiet the heaviness inside you. But the deeper ache remained because your soul was never meant to live disconnected from me. I never created you to survive life carrying everything alone while pretending you were fine. I see how much pressure you place upon yourself every day. I see the thoughts you never say aloud. I see the emotional exhaustion hidden behind your smile. What hurts your spirit most is not your weakness. It is the distance you created while trying to protect yourself from pain. You became guarded because you thought staying emotionally distant would somehow make life easier. But instead, the distance slowly drained your peace, your clarity, and your sense of security inside. Still, my child, I am not speaking to you with anger or condemnation. I understand every reason why you pulled away. I know the disappointment, confusion, and weariness that led you here. But I need you to hear me clearly now. You do not have to keep living this way. You do not have to keep carrying life disconnected from my presence. Even during the moments when you ignored me, I stayed close to you. I never stopped loving you. And even now, after all the distance, I still want your heart near mine because I know how much healing waits for you there. My child, there was a season when you leaned on me naturally. You would bring me your fears before they turned into sleepless nights. You would pause long enough to let my peace settle your thoughts. But over time, you slowly convinced yourself that you had to carry everything alone. You became used to solving problems in your own strength, managing your emotions in silence, and hiding your exhaustion behind a composed face. I watched you push yourself harder and harder while your spirit quietly cried out for rest. You began measuring your value by how much you could endure without falling apart. Every burden became something you tried to control with your own understanding. You kept telling yourself that if you just planned better, worked harder, worried more carefully, or stayed emotionally guarded, then maybe you could finally protect yourself from disappointment. But look at what that pressure has done to your heart. Look at how heavy your thoughts have become. You carry conversations in your mind that never end. You replay situations over and over, trying to predict outcomes before they even happen. You have been fighting invisible battles inside yourself for so long that exhaustion now feels normal to you. Come closer to me now and listen carefully. You were never created to survive by carrying the weight of the world on your shoulders. That burden was never yours to hold. Lay it down. Stop gripping every fear so tightly. Stop trying to control every unknown part of your future. I need you to understand that your constant striving is not bringing you peace. It is draining the life from your spirit little by little. There were moments when I tried to slow you down. I closed doors you desperately wanted opened. I interrupted plans you thought would save you. I allowed certain disappointments because I could see what you could not. You thought I was withholding good things from you, but I was protecting you from paths that would have wounded you even more deeply. Yet instead of trusting my guidance, you pulled further inward and relied even more on yourself. My child, invite me back into the center of your life. Stop treating me like a distant voice you only seek during emergencies. Sit with me honestly again. Let me carry what has been crushing your heart. You do not need to oppress me with strength. You do not need to prove your worth by surviving alone. Breathe deeply for a moment and release the pressure you have been carrying. Let my presence quiet the storm inside your mind. I am still your safe place. I am still your father. And I am asking you now to stop running on your own strength before it breaks you completely. My child, there is a reason why you still feel restless even after chasing the things you thought would satisfy your heart. You tried filling the emptiness with distractions, achievements, entertainment, relationships, and constant movement, but none of it reached the deeper place inside you that has been longing for me. You kept hoping the next success, the next opportunity, or the next season of life would finally make you feel whole again. Yet every temporary comfort faded faster than you expected, and afterward you were left alone with the same ache quietly waiting inside you. I watched you try to outrun that feeling. You kept yourself busy because silence became uncomfortable. Whenever life slowed down, your thoughts caught up with you. Questions surfaced that you did not want to face. You started noticing how emotionally tired you had become, but instead of stopping to heal, you pushed yourself harder. You learned how to smile while carrying heaviness in private. You learned how to stay socially connected while feeling spiritually disconnected at the same time. Be honest with yourself now, my child. Some nights you feel emotionally drained even when nothing dramatic happened during the day. Some mornings you wake up already carrying pressure in your chest before the day even begins. That is what happens when your soul has been neglected for too long. Your spirit was never designed to survive disconnected from my peace. You can keep feeding your schedule, your image, your ambitions, and your distractions, but until you let me reach the deeper parts of your heart, that emptiness will continue following you quietly. Come sit with me for a moment without pretending. Stop hiding behind routines and noise. Let yourself admit that you are tired. Let yourself acknowledge how much of your energy has been spent trying to appear okay while inwardly feeling lost. I am not asking you to have perfect faith before coming closer to me. I am asking you to stop avoiding the truth about what your heart truly needs. You have spent so much time listening to voices that told you fulfillment could be found somewhere outside my presence. But look carefully at your soul now. You already know those promises left you empty. I am calling you back because I do not want you wasting more years searching for peace in places that can never sustain you. Open your heart again. Invite me into the parts of your life you keep guarded. Let me restore what exhaustion, disappointment, and emotional distance have been draining from you for far too long. My child, I need you to stop hiding your pain behind the version of yourself you show to everyone else. You have become skilled at appearing okay even during seasons when your heart feels exhausted beyond words. People hear you laugh, watch you continue your routines, and assume you are handling life well, but I see what happens underneath all of that. I see the heaviness you carry into quiet rooms when nobody else is watching. I hear the thoughts you never say aloud because you are afraid people will not understand how deeply tired you really feel. You have spent so much time trying to stay strong that you no longer know how to admit when you are hurting. Somewhere along the way, you convinced yourself that vulnerability was dangerous. You thought if you kept your emotions hidden tightly enough, maybe the pain would eventually disappear on its own. But ignored wounds do not heal, my child. They grow silently in the dark places of your heart. That is why some days feel heavier than they should. That is why small disappointments suddenly affect you more deeply than you expect. Your soul has been carrying emotional weight for too long without rest. Come closer to me now. Stop running from what your heart is trying to tell you. Sit still for a moment and let yourself breathe honestly in my presence. You do not need to impress me with composure. You do not need to perform strength for me. I already know the parts of you that feel fragile. I know about the nights when you overthink until your chest feels tight. I know about the moments when loneliness suddenly hits you in the middle of ordinary days. I know how often you question whether anyone truly sees the real you beneath the surface. My child, I see you completely. Nothing about your pain is hidden from me. The tears you held back in front of others still reached my heart. The disappointment you buried beneath busy schedules still mattered to me. You were never meant to carry emotional storms alone while pretending the waves are not pulling you under. Let me into the places you keep locked away. Stop telling yourself you will heal later when life becomes easier. Bring your exhaustion to me now. Bring your confusion to me now. Open your heart instead of burying everything beneath distractions and responsibilities. I am not standing before you with judgment. I am standing here with compassion, asking you to stop fighting private battles without allowing my love to comfort you. You do not have to stay trapped behind the mask you created to survive. Let it fall. Let me hold the parts of your heart that have been silently breaking for far too long. My child, even now, while your heart has been quietly breaking beneath the weight of hidden pain, I am still using this message to reach wandering souls who feel just as exhausted as you once did. Do not ignore the stirring inside you when you feel led to support this mission, because every seed you sow becomes light in someone else's darkness. As it is written, a bruised reed he will not break, and a faintly burning wick he will not quench, and I am breathing hope back into weary hearts through these words. When you release your giving through Super Thanks membership, with a PayPal link placed in the video description, you are helping carry my voice into homes filled with silent sorrow and unseen battles. This is not a small act in my kingdom. It is oil poured into lamps preparing souls for healing and restoration. I see every sacrifice made in sincerity, and I will cause rivers of provision, peace, and favor to flow back into the areas where you once felt empty. Do not delay the prompting I have placed inside your spirit today. Sow into this work now, support this assignment boldly, and watch how I breathe life into both your heart and the lives waiting to hear my voice. My child, there were moments when you felt me speaking to your heart clearly, but instead of stopping to listen, you pushed those feelings aside because they made you uncomfortable. You distracted yourself quickly whenever conviction began rising inside you. You filled your attention with noise, conversations, entertainment, work, scrolling, and endless thoughts because deep down you knew I was trying to reach places in your life that you did not want to confront yet. I never brought conviction to shame you. I brought it because I love you too much to let you drift further away from the peace your soul desperately needs. But you mistook my voice for pressure instead of protection. Every time your spirit felt unsettled after certain choices, that was me gently warning you that something inside your heart was becoming unhealthy. Every time you felt emptiness after chasing temporary comfort, that was not punishment. That was your soul reminding you it was created for something deeper. Be honest with yourself now, my child. You already know there are habits, thoughts, and patterns inside your life that have been draining your spirit. You feel it afterward every single time. You feel the heaviness settle back into your chest. You feel the distance growing again. Yet you keep returning to the same distractions hoping they will finally satisfy you. They never do. They only numb you temporarily before leaving you emptier than before. Stop running from my voice. Stop silencing conviction with distractions that cannot heal you. Come sit with me honestly instead. Let me show you what has been damaging your peace. I am not exposing these things to humiliate you. I am trying to free you before those patterns harden your heart even more deeply. You have spent too much time negotiating with things that quietly pull you away from me. You keep telling yourself you still have time to change later, but your soul is growing tired from the constant inner conflict. One part of you longs for closeness with me while another part keeps reaching for temporary escape routes that leave you spiritually drained afterward. My child, listen carefully now. You do not need to fear surrendering those things to me. I am not trying to take joy from your life. I am trying to rescue your heart from the emptiness that follows every false comfort this world offers you. Open your hands. Release what has been poisoning your peace. Invite me fully back into your thoughts, your choices, and your private moments again. The freedom you keep searching for will never come through avoidance. It begins the moment you stop resisting my voice and finally allow me to heal what has been quietly hurting inside you for so long. My child, one of the quietest ways you have denied me is by convincing yourself that you will come closer to me later. You keep thinking there will eventually be a perfect season when your mind feels calmer, your emotions feel clearer, and your life feels more organized. You tell yourself you will seek me seriously once things settle down, once you feel spiritually stronger, once you fix certain habits, once you understand yourself better. But look honestly at what has happened. The longer you delay, the heavier your spirit becomes. You were never meant to clean yourself up before coming back to me. I never asked you to arrive with perfect faith, perfect discipline, or perfect emotions. I only asked you to come honestly. Yet you keep postponing closeness with me because part of you feels ashamed of how distant you have become. You look at your inconsistency and quietly wonder if you even deserve intimacy with me anymore. My child, stop believing that lie. If my love depended on your perfection, you would have lost me long ago. But I have stayed beside you through every wandering season because my heart toward you has never changed. Come to me now instead of waiting for some imaginary future version of yourself. Sit with me while your thoughts are still messy. Pray while your emotions still feel complicated. Open your heart while you are still struggling. Stop treating intimacy with me like something you must earn through self-improvement. You are exhausting yourself trying to become spiritually worthy before simply allowing yourself to be loved by me again. I know what you are afraid of. You worry that if you fully return to me, I will force you to confront every painful thing you buried inside yourself. You fear surrender because control has become your way of protecting your heart. But listen carefully, my child. The control you cling to is not bringing you peace. It is only keeping you emotionally trapped between longing for me and resisting me at the same time. Do not wait another season hoping the emptiness will disappear on its own. Do not keep telling yourself you have more time while your soul quietly grows colder and more exhausted. Come closer now. Invite me back into your mornings, your thoughts, your decisions, your private moments, and your fears. Let me walk with you through the unfinished places of your life instead of hiding them from me. I am not standing far away waiting for you to prove yourself. I am standing near you already, asking you gently to stop delaying the very relationship your heart has been starving for all along. My child, your heart has become crowded with voices that were never meant to guide your life. Every day you absorb opinions, fears, expectations, pressures, comparisons, and endless noise from the world around you. Some voices tell you that your value depends on your success. Others tell you that you must constantly prove yourself to be worthy of love and acceptance. There are voices that feed your anxiety, voices that deepen your insecurity, and voices that quietly convince you to doubt the future I prepared for you. You listen to all of them so often that my voice has become harder for you to recognize. I still speak to you, but your mind rarely becomes still enough to hear me clearly anymore. The noise follows you everywhere. Even during moments of silence, your thoughts keep racing from one fear to another. You replay conversations, imagine worst-case outcomes, compare your life to others, and carry pressure that I never asked you to carry. Then you wonder why your peace disappears so quickly. My child, your spirit becomes weary when you feed it confusion all day while neglecting my presence. Step away from the noise for a moment and come sit with me honestly. Put down the pressure to constantly keep up with everyone around you. Stop allowing the world to decide your worth. Stop letting fear speak louder than my promises over your life. You do not need every answer right now. You do not need to predict your future perfectly before taking the next step. You need my voice guiding your heart again. I know how deeply certain words from others affected you. Some criticism stayed in your mind far longer than you admit. Some rejection wounded your confidence deeply. You began trusting human opinions more than my truth about you. Little by little, you allowed insecurity to shape how you see yourself. But hear me clearly now, my child. The world does not define your identity. Your failures do not define your identity. Your fears do not define your identity. I know who you are even when you forget. Come closer and let my voice become familiar to you again. Spend time with me without rushing away. Let my truth quiet the chaos inside your mind. I am not trying to compete with the noise around you. I am inviting you out of it. The peace you keep searching for cannot survive inside constant mental confusion. Slow down. Breathe deeply. Open your heart again and let my presence become louder than every fearful voice that has been pulling your spirit further away from me. My child, one of the deepest reasons you keep your distance from me is because you secretly believe your failures change the way I see you. You look at your mistakes, your hidden struggles, your repeated weaknesses, and you quietly wonder if I have grown tired of you. Even when you try to pray, there are moments when shame speaks louder than faith inside your heart. You remember things you wish you could undo. You replay moments that still embarrass you. Some memories still sting every time they return to your mind, and because of that, you slowly stopped coming to me with honesty. But listen to me carefully now. Your shame had been speaking lies to you for far too long. I have never loved you conditionally. I already knew every weakness, every wrong decision, every season of confusion before you ever lived through it. Nothing about your life surprised me. Yet I still chose to stay beside you. I still protected you. I still carried you through moments when you were emotionally collapsing inside without anyone noticing. If I wanted perfection before loving you, you would never have experienced my mercy even once. Come closer instead of hiding from me. Stop punishing yourself for things I already wanted to heal. You keep reopening wounds that I have been asking you to surrender into my hands. I see how exhausting it has become carrying guilt everywhere you go. Some days you smile in front of others while inwardly feeling unworthy of peace. Some nights you lie awake replaying old regrets until your chest feels heavy again. My child, that is not the life I wanted for you. Let me into those memories you keep locking away. Speak honestly with me instead of pretending those wounds no longer affect you. You do not need polished words. You do not need to impress me spiritually before receiving my compassion. Bring me the parts of yourself you are most ashamed of. Bring me the disappointment you feel toward yourself. Bring me the habits you keep struggling to release. Stop hiding behind silence while your soul grows tired carrying guilt that was never meant to define you. I know you fear vulnerability because you think exposure will lead to rejection. Human love may have taught you that, but my love does not work that way. I move toward broken hearts, not away from them. I am inviting you now to stop identifying yourself by your worst moments. You are more than your failures. You are more than your regrets. Let my mercy reach deeper than your shame. Open your heart fully and allow me to heal what guilt has been quietly destroying inside you for much too long. My child, shame has tried to convince you to stay hidden, but I am calling you into healing, freedom, and purpose. And through this message, I am reaching countless others trapped beneath the same chains. Every time you choose to support this mission through super thanks, membership, or the PayPal link in the video description, you become part of breaking heaviness off wounded hearts across the world. Did I not say, though your sins are like scarlet, they shall be white as snow? My mercy is still moving, and I am using willing hands to carry that mercy into places where despair has almost consumed hope. Do not treat this moment casually, because what you release in obedience becomes seed planted into eternal harvest fields. I will not forget the generosity that flows from a surrendered heart. I will multiply peace over your home, strengthen what has grown weak, and pour fresh favor upon your path. The enemy wanted guilt to silence you, but I am turning your obedience into testimony and your compassion into living water for thirsty souls. Act now, my child. Give boldly, support this kingdom work immediately, and let your seed become part of the healing I am releasing in this hour. My child, I need you to look honestly at the ways you have been coping with your pain. You have spent so much time trying to numb your emotions instead of truly healing them. Whenever your heart feels overwhelmed, you immediately search for something to distract yourself. You scroll endlessly to avoid silence. You fill your schedule so you do not have to sit with your thoughts. You chase temporary comforts hoping they will quiet the ache inside you for a little while. But afterward, the emptiness always returns because distractions cannot heal wounds buried deep within your spirit. I see how tired you have become from constantly escaping yourself. You were never meant to live emotionally disconnected from your own heart. Yet somewhere along the way, you became afraid of slowing down because stillness forces you to confront what has been hurting underneath everything else. You avoid quiet moments because quiet moments remind you how lonely, confused, and spiritually drained you really feel. So you keep moving. You keep consuming noise. You keep filling every empty space hoping you will not feel the heaviness waiting underneath. Come sit with me now without reaching for another distraction. Put down the endless noise for a moment and allow your heart to breathe honestly again. Stop trying to medicate spiritual exhaustion with temporary comforts that leave you emptier afterward. You already know they cannot satisfy you. You feel it every time the distraction fades and the same sadness quietly returns. My child, healing begins when you stop running from your pain and finally allow me to meet you inside it. I am not asking you to carry your wounds alone. I am asking you to stop hiding them beneath habits that slowly drain your peace even more. Some of the things you keep turning to are not strengthening your spirit. They are weakening your ability to hear my voice clearly. They are numbing your sensitivity to my presence little by little. Do not be afraid to face what is inside you with me beside you. I already know every thought you hide, every fear you suppress, every ache you try covering with distractions. Let me comfort you instead of escaping into things that cannot truly restore your soul. Sit with me in the quiet again. Let your heart soften. Let your spirit breathe without constantly searching for another temporary escape route. You do not need another distraction tonight. You need peace. You need healing. You need closeness with me again. Stop numbing your soul while pretending you are healing. Open your heart and let me restore the places inside you that have been silently starving for real comfort. My child, there have been moments when you quietly asked yourself why peace feels so difficult to hold on to lately. You wondered why your heart feels restless even during good moments. You questioned why joy fades so quickly and why exhaustion keeps returning no matter how much rest you try to give your body. Deep inside, part of you already knows the answer. Your soul was never designed to flourish while living distant from me. You have tried to survive spiritually on leftovers while feeding every other part of your life more attention than your relationship with me. You make time for responsibilities, time for distractions, time for everyone else's expectations, yet the place where your spirit reconnects with me keeps getting pushed further down your priorities. Then you wonder why your inner world feels dry. My child, no heart can stay alive without staying connected to the source of peace that created it. Come closer now and stop pretending the distance is not affecting you. Be honest about the emptiness you feel when the noise dies down at night. Be honest about how emotionally drained you have become from constantly carrying pressure without truly resting in my presence. You keep trying to pour strength from an empty cup while refusing to let me refill your spirit. I know you still think about me often. I know there are moments when you miss the closeness we once shared. You remember seasons when my presence felt natural to you. You remember praying without hesitation. You remember feeling comforted instead of constantly anxious. But instead of returning fully to me, you keep convincing yourself you can manage the distance a little longer. My child, the longer you starve your spirit, the heavier life becomes emotionally. Stop feeding your soul temporary comforts while neglecting the deeper relationship your heart actually longs for. Sit with me again. Open your mornings to me again. Invite me into your thoughts before fear takes over your mind for the day. Let my peace interrupt the chaos you have been carrying silently. You do not need another distraction. You do not need another escape. You need restoration. You need closeness with me again. I am not saying this to control you. I am saying it because I can see what the distance has been doing to your heart even when you try hiding it from everyone else. Return to me honestly, my child. Stop surviving emotionally when I created you to live deeply rooted in peace, security, and love through my presence beside you. My child, there are wounds inside you that stay open because you keep revisiting old failures long after I already offered you mercy. You continue carrying guilt for moments that I wanted to heal, not because I refused to forgive you, but because you never truly accepted that my love could still reach you after everything you regret. You replay old mistakes in your mind as if punishing yourself will somehow undo the past. But all it has done is slowly harden your heart against the compassion I have been trying to give you. I see how certain memories still affect you. Some moments make you cringe the instant they return to your thoughts. You remember things you wish you had never said, decisions you wish you had never made, seasons where you wandered far from the person you wanted to become. And because of that shame, you started pulling away from me emotionally. You assumed distance was safer than vulnerability. You feared that if you came too close to me again, all your failures would stand between us forever. Listen carefully now, my child. I never asked you to carry your past like chains around your soul. I already knew every weakness you would struggle with before you ever lived through those moments. Yet I still chose to love you fully. Stop treating your worst seasons like they permanently define your identity. Stop speaking to yourself with more cruelty than I ever have. Come sit with me honestly and release the burden you keep dragging behind you. Let go of the belief that you must suffer endlessly to prove you are sorry. True healing begins when you stop hiding from my mercy and finally allow yourself to receive it. You cannot move forward while constantly reopening wounds I already wanted to restore. I know why forgiveness feels difficult for you. Part of you believes that if you stop condemning yourself, then maybe you are excusing what happened. But my child, healing is not denial. Healing is allowing my love to reach the broken places shame has been controlling for too long. Stop rehearsing old guilt every night. Stop measuring your worth by your lowest moments. Open your hands and surrender those memories to me fully. Let me teach your heart how to breathe freely again without constantly carrying the weight of who you used to be. I am not asking you to pretend your pain never happened. I am asking you to stop living as though redemption is impossible for someone like you. My mercy is still reaching for you. Let it finally reach deeper than your shame. My child, one of the deepest struggles inside your heart is not that you stopped believing in me completely. It is that you became afraid to fully trust me with every part of your life. You still want my comfort during painful moments. You still want my protection when life feels uncertain. But when it comes to surrendering control over your future, your fears, your plans, and your hidden struggles, you hesitate. You hold certain parts of your heart tightly because you are afraid of what might happen if you truly place everything into my hands. I understand why surrender feels difficult for you. Life has wounded you in ways that made control feel safer than trust. You learned to prepare for disappointment before it could surprise you. You learned to overthink every possibility because uncertainty makes you uncomfortable. Somewhere along the way, your mind convinced you that if you stay in control of every detail, then maybe you can protect yourself from pain. But look honestly at what that pressure has been doing to you. Your thoughts rarely rest. Your body grows tired, while your mind keeps racing. Even peaceful moments become interrupted by fear about what could go wrong next. Come closer to me now and loosen your grip on the burdens you were never meant to carry alone. Stop trying to predict every outcome before life unfolds. Stop exhausting your heart with constant worry about tomorrow. You keep searching for certainty in your own understanding while ignoring the peace waiting inside my presence. Let go, my child. Breathe slowly and invite me into the places you keep trying to control. I am not asking you to stop caring about your life. I am asking you to stop carrying it as though everything depends entirely on your strength. There are situations you cannot fix through overthinking. There are wounds you cannot heal through self-protection. There are fears that will never disappear until you finally trust me deeply enough to release them. You do not need to have every answer before taking my hand again. You do not need complete certainty before choosing trust. Open your heart and allow me to guide you one step at a time instead of demanding the entire future all at once. My child, surrender is not weakness. It is the place where exhausted hearts finally stop fighting battles they were never meant to carry alone. Come rest with me. Let my peace hold what your own strength no longer can. My child, surrender does not stop with trusting me emotionally. It also includes trusting me with what you hold in your hands. Some of you have prayed for purpose while ignoring the opportunity to help carry my word further through this very message. I tell you now, every offering released through Super Thanks membership, with a PayPal link in the video description, becomes seed falling into prepared ground where lost and weary souls are waiting for hope. As my word declares, give, and it shall be given unto you, good measure, pressed down, shaken together, and running over. Do not cling so tightly to fear that you miss the blessing attached to obedience, because I am opening doors for those who move when I prompt their hearts. Your giving is not merely financial. It is an act of surrender that tells heaven you trust me more than your anxieties about tomorrow. I will guard what concerns you, provide where lack has troubled you, and release peace into the places fear has exhausted for too long. So loosen your grip now, obey the leading in your spirit, and so into this mission without hesitation. My child, fear has quietly shaped more of your decisions than you realize. It has followed you into your thoughts, your relationships, your future plans, and even your connection with me. Some fears became so familiar to you that you stopped noticing how deeply they were controlling your heart. You became cautious about hoping too much because disappointment hurt you before. You became hesitant to trust fully because betrayal wounded you deeply. You learned how to expect worst-case outcomes before good things even had the chance to unfold. I see how often fear steals your peace before anything bad has actually happened. Your mind runs ahead into imaginary disasters while your heart struggles to stay calm in the present moment. You replay conversations afterward wondering if you said the wrong thing. You worry about losing people before they even leave. You overanalyze your future until your spirit feels drained before the day even begins. My child, fear hath been speaking to you so constantly that you sometimes mistake it for wisdom. Come sit with me quietly for a moment and listen carefully. Fear is not protecting your heart the way you think it is. It is slowly trapping you inside emotional exhaustion. It keeps you guarded when love is trying to reach you. It keeps you restless when peace is standing near you. It convinces you to prepare endlessly for pain while preventing you from fully experiencing the life I still want to give you. Stop feeding fearful thoughts every hour of the day. Stop rehearsing negative outcomes before they happen. Stop allowing anxiety to become the loudest voice guiding your decisions. Bring those fears honestly to me instead of carrying them secretly inside yourself. Speak to me about what scares you. Tell me what keeps your mind awake at night. Let me comfort the places inside you that constantly expect something to go wrong. I know fear feels powerful because pain taught you to be cautious. But my child, you cannot build a peaceful life while letting fear sit on the throne of your heart. Invite me into your anxious thoughts before they spiral into exhaustion again. Slow down your racing mind. Breathe deeply. Let my presence interrupt the panic you keep carrying silently. You do not have to face tomorrow already terrified of what might happen. I am already there before you arrive. Trust me enough to loosen fear's grip over your life. You were not created to live constantly bracing for disaster. You were created to walk with me through uncertainty while still carrying peace inside your soul. My child, I see how deeply you crave reassurance from people around you. You search faces, messages, reactions, compliments, and attention hoping someone will finally make you feel secure inside. You want to feel chosen, valued, remembered, and important. There is nothing wrong with wanting love, but somewhere along the way you began depending on human validation to repair wounds that only my presence can truly heal. That is why even after receiving praise or affection, the emptiness keeps returning again. You became emotionally dependent on how others respond to you. One encouraging word lifts your mood for hours, while one cold response can quietly break your peace for an entire day. You overthink conversations. You replay moments wondering if people still care about you the same way. You fear being forgotten, overlooked, or replaced because rejection wounded your heart more deeply than you admit. I know how painful certain betrayals were for you. I know some people left scars inside your spirit that still affect how you see yourself now. But come closer and listen carefully, my child. You cannot build lasting peace on unstable human approval. People are imperfect. Their attention changes. Their emotions shift. Some love you deeply while still failing to understand your heart completely. Yet you keep handing them the power to determine your worth. Every time you do that, your peace becomes fragile because it depends on things outside your control. Stop chasing validation like a thirsty soul wandering through a desert searching for rain that disappears the moment it touches the ground. Stop measuring your value by how consistently others affirm you. Come sit with me instead. Let me remind you who you are without the noise of human opinions shaping your identity every day. You are not valuable because people applaud you. You are valuable because I created you with intention and love long before anyone else ever knew your name. Human rejection does not erase your worth. Disappointment does not erase your worth. Even your failures do not erase your worth. I need you to stop looking everywhere else for confirmation that should already be rooted in my love for you. Invite me into the insecurity you keep hiding behind your smile. Speak honestly about the fear of not being enough. Let me heal the part of your heart that constantly searches for reassurance from people who cannot fully satisfy what your soul is truly longing for. My child, rest your identity in me instead of exhausting yourself trying to earn value from a world that changes its mind like shifting sand beneath your feet. My child, your spirit has been trying to get your attention for a long time now. Beneath your routines, your responsibilities, your entertainment, and your constant mental noise, there is a deeper hunger inside you that refuses to disappear. You feel it during quiet moments when distractions lose their power for a while. You feel it when life slows down and your thoughts finally catch up with your heart. There is a reason why temporary comforts satisfy you for only a short time before emptiness quietly returns again. You have spent so much energy feeding everything around you except the part of you that needs me most. You feed your schedule. You feed your worries. You feed your scrolling habits, your fears, your endless thinking, and your emotional exhaustion. Yet your spirit remains neglected, thirsty, and tired. Then you wonder why peace feels distant even when your life looks manageable on the outside. My child, no soul can remain healthy while disconnected from the very presence that gives it life. Come away from the noise for a moment. Put down the distractions that constantly consume your attention. Sit with me quietly and let your heart breathe again. You do not realize how overstimulated your mind has become. Every day your thoughts move at lightning speed from one concern to another, leaving almost no room for stillness. That constant noise is draining your spirit more than you understand. I am not asking you to abandon your responsibilities. I am asking you to stop living as though your soul does not matter. Your inner world needs care too. Your spirit needs rest too. You cannot keep pouring your energy into everything else while expecting your heart to remain strong without closeness with me. I know distractions feel comforting because they temporarily pull you away from pain. But temporary escape is not healing. Endless noise is not peace. You already know this because the moment distractions fade, the heaviness quietly returns again. That is why I am calling you back to me now. Open space for me again in your daily life. Invite me into your mornings before anxiety fills your thoughts. Pause during your busy days, and remember I am near you. Let my presence interrupt the emotional chaos you have been carrying alone. My child, your soul is starving for real peace, not temporary relief. Stop feeding every distraction while neglecting the relationship your heart needs most. Come closer and let me restore the strength your spirit has been losing little by little through all this distance. My child, you have been carrying exhaustion inside your spirit for such a long time that you barely recognize it anymore. You wake up already mentally tired before the day even begins. Your body keeps moving, your responsibilities continue, your conversations happen normally, yet underneath everything there is a quiet heaviness that never fully leaves you. You learned how to function while emotionally drained. You learned how to survive while spiritually disconnected. Over time, exhaustion became your normal instead of your warning sign. I see how much pressure you place upon yourself every day. You constantly think ahead, worry ahead, prepare ahead, and brace yourself for problems before they even arrive. Your mind rarely rests. Even during quiet moments, your thoughts keep racing like waves crashing against a shore during a midnight storm. You tell yourself you are just being responsible, but deep inside you know something more is happening. Your soul has been carrying burdens it was never created to carry alone. Come closer to me now and stop pretending you are stronger than you feel. Sit with me honestly without rushing away again. You do not need to hide your weariness from me. I already see the fatigue in your heart. I see how discouraged you become after fighting silent battles for so long without feeling relief. Some days you smile while inwardly feeling empty. Some nights you lie awake staring into darkness while your thoughts refuse to quiet down. My child, that is not peace. That is survival mode slowly draining the life from your spirit. You were not created to live constantly overwhelmed. You were not created to carry anxiety from sunrise to sunset while calling it normal. Lay those burdens down now. Stop gripping every fear so tightly. Stop believing you must handle everything through your own strength before you are allowed to rest. I never asked you to become emotionally unbreakable. I asked you to stay close to me. Let my presence become your resting place again. Open your heart before another day passes with your spirit running on emptiness. Breathe deeply and invite me into the exhaustion you keep hiding from everyone else. I am not disappointed in your weakness. I am waiting patiently for you to stop carrying life alone long enough to let me restore you. You do not need another distraction tonight. You need rest that reaches deeper than sleep. You need peace that calms more than your schedule. Come sit with me, my child. Let your weary soul breathe again inside the safety of my presence. My child, your spirit has been crying out for rest, and I am using this message like fresh manna for exhausted hearts wandering through dry places. There are people listening right now who are moments away from giving up completely, yet my voice reached them through this assignment. When you support this work through Super Thanks membership, with a PayPal link in the video description, you help keep the river of encouragement, conviction, and healing flowing toward souls desperate for hope. Did I not promise, "Come unto me, all who are weary and burdened, and I will give you rest"? I am still fulfilling that promise, and your generosity becomes part of the oil keeping this lamp burning brightly in dark hours. Do not underestimate what one obedient act can release in the Spirit, because heaven sees every seed and records every sacrifice made for my kingdom. I will breathe strength into your weary places, surround your household with favor, and restore what exhaustion has stolen from your heart. Therefore act now, my child. Sow into this mission immediately and help carry my peace to those silently breaking beneath unseen burdens. My child, there were many moments when you quietly wondered where I was. You looked at your pain, your unanswered prayers, your disappointments, and your loneliness, and part of your heart started believing I had become distant from you. You questioned whether I still heard your voice. You wondered if I stopped caring because life kept hurting in ways you did not understand. Some nights your prayers felt like they disappeared into silence, and over time that silence convinced you I was no longer near. But listen to me carefully now. I have never left your side. Not once. Even during the seasons when you ignored me, doubted me, or emotionally drifted far away, I remained close to you. I was there during the nights when you cried quietly so nobody else would notice. I was there when disappointment crushed your expectations. I was there when fear tightened around your heart and left you mentally exhausted. You may not have felt my presence clearly in those moments, but my absence was never the reason for your pain. There were situations I protected you from without you ever realizing it. There were doors I kept closed because they would have wounded you more deeply than you understand now. There were moments when you almost collapsed emotionally, yet somehow you kept going. That strength did not come from nowhere, my child. I was carrying you more than you knew. Come closer now and stop measuring my love by your temporary emotions. Your feelings shift constantly, but my presence beside you does not. I know pain made you question me. I know disappointment made you guarded. But do not let confusion convince you that I abandoned you. I have been walking beside you through every storm, even when your vision became clouded by fear and exhaustion. Open your eyes to the quiet ways I have still been caring for you. Think about the moments when something inside you told you not to give up completely. Think about the times unexpected peace reached you during emotional chaos. Think about the strength you somehow found after believing you had nothing left. That was me, my child. I have always been nearer than your next breath. Stop running through life as though you are abandoned. Stop carrying loneliness like it defines your story forever. Sit with me again. Speak honestly with me again. Invite me back into your awareness instead of assuming distance whenever life becomes difficult. I am still your father. I am still holding your life in my hands. And even after all the ways you denied me emotionally, my love for you has never moved an inch away. My child, there was a time when being close to me mattered deeply to you. You used to seek me naturally when your heart felt overwhelmed. You used to pause long enough to let my peace steady your thoughts. But slowly, without realizing it fully, you began treating my presence like something optional instead of essential. You started giving me whatever time remained after your distractions, responsibilities, worries, and exhaustion had already consumed most of your energy. Then you wondered why your spirit began feeling weaker and more restless. I need you to understand something honestly tonight. Your relationship with me is not meant to be an occasional comfort you visit only during emergencies. I am not meant to exist at the edges of your life while fear, stress, pressure, and endless noise sit at the center of your heart. You were created to live connected to me daily because your soul depends on my presence far more than you realize. Look carefully at your inner world lately. You feel emotionally drained faster than before. Small problems feel heavier than they used to. Your thoughts spiral more easily into anxiety. Your patience becomes thinner. Your peace disappears quickly. My child, your spirit weakens when you keep starving the relationship that was meant to sustain you through every season of life. Come sit with me again intentionally. Stop squeezing me into whatever emotional energy you have left after the world exhausts you. Invite me into the center of your days again. Speak with me before panic fills your mind each morning. Pause during your busy hours, and remember you are not carrying life alone. Open your heart at night instead of collapsing into distractions until exhaustion overtakes you. I know part of you still longs for closeness with me. You miss the calm your spirit once felt when you trusted me more naturally. But instead of returning fully, you keep postponing intimacy while trying to survive spiritually disconnected. My child, surviving is not the life I wanted for you. I want your soul rooted deeply enough in my presence that peace remains steady even when life feels uncertain around you. Stop treating me like a distant backup plan while carrying burdens I already asked you to surrender. Come closer now. Let my presence become familiar to your heart again. Let me steady the parts of you that have been trembling beneath the surface for far too long. You do not need less of me during hard seasons. You need more. Open your life fully and let me become your resting place again instead of the last place you turn after everything else fails. My child, there are patterns inside your life that continue hurting you, yet you keep returning to them hoping the outcome will somehow feel different this time. You already know which habits leave your spirit empty afterward. You already know which environments drain your peace. You already know which thoughts pull your heart deeper into fear and confusion. Still, whenever loneliness, stress, disappointment, or emotional exhaustion rises inside you, you instinctively run back toward the very things that quietly wound you again. I am not speaking to condemn you. I am speaking because I see how trapped your heart has started feeling. You tell yourself certain distractions will comfort you temporarily, but afterward the heaviness always returns stronger than before. You keep searching for relief in places that cannot truly restore your soul. Some of those things numb your pain for a moment, but they also deepen your distance from me little by little until your spirit feels exhausted and disconnected again. Come closer now and stop pretending those patterns are harmless. Be honest about how they affect your peace. Be honest about how empty you feel afterward. You cannot heal while constantly returning to the same emotional poison that keeps reopening your wounds. My child, there are things in your life that feel familiar but are slowly draining the life from your spirit like cracks beneath a foundation, weakening a house over time. I know why you return to them. Familiar pain feels easier than uncertain healing. Temporary comfort feels safer than vulnerability. You fear facing your deeper wounds directly with me, so you keep escaping into patterns that distract you from them instead. But distraction is not freedom. Avoidance is not healing. Numbing your soul is not peace. Let me guide you away from what keeps hurting your heart. Release your grip on the habits and thought patterns that constantly leave you spiritually drained afterward. Stop convincing yourself you can manage them alone while your soul quietly grows weaker. Bring those struggles honestly into my presence instead of hiding them in shame. I am not asking you to become perfect overnight. I am asking you to stop protecting the very things that are damaging your peace. Open your hands and let me help you break free from cycles that keep pulling your heart further away from rest, clarity, and healing. My child, you deserve more than temporary relief followed by deeper emptiness. Come walk with me instead. Let me teach your soul what true freedom actually feels like. My child, there have been many moments when your spirit tried to warn you that something inside your life was drifting in the wrong direction. You felt it quietly at first, a heaviness after certain choices, an emptiness after certain conversations, a restlessness that appeared whenever you ignored what your heart already knew deep down. But instead of slowing down and listening carefully, you kept pushing those feelings aside because facing them honestly felt uncomfortable. I never placed conviction inside your heart to shame you. I allowed those quiet warnings because I love you enough to protect you before deeper damage settles into your soul. Yet you kept treating those inner alarms like interruptions instead of invitations back to me. You distracted yourself quickly whenever your conscience became too loud. You filled your attention with noise because silence forced you to confront truths you were trying to avoid. Come sit with me honestly now and stop running from what your spirit has been trying to tell you. You already know certain things are draining your peace. You already know some habits leave you spiritually exhausted afterward. You already know there are patterns pulling your heart further from clarity and rest. My child, stop pretending confusion is wisdom. Stop convincing yourself you are fine while your soul quietly grows weaker beneath the surface. I see how tired you are becoming from constantly fighting yourself internally. One part of you longs for peace and closeness with me, while another part keeps reaching for distractions that temporarily numb your pain. That conflict inside you has become exhausting because your spirit was never meant to live divided for so long. Do not harden your heart against the gentle ways I still try to guide you. Pay attention to the discomfort you feel after choices that separate you from peace. Listen carefully when your spirit feels unsettled. Those moments are not evidence that I rejected you. They are reminders that your soul still recognizes my voice calling you back toward life instead of emptiness. Slow down now. Put aside the distractions for a while and let your heart become honest again. Invite me into the areas of your life where conviction keeps appearing repeatedly. Stop silencing your conscience every time it tries leading you toward healing. My child, ignoring those warnings will never bring you freedom. It only deepens the exhaustion already weighing upon your spirit. I am still speaking gently because I still care deeply about your heart. Let those quiet convictions lead you back toward peace instead of running further into emotional numbness. Come closer and let me restore the sensitivity your spirit has been losing little by little through all this resistance. My child, those quiet warnings inside your spirit were never meant to push you away from me. They were calling you toward obedience, purpose, and deeper surrender. Right now, I am speaking through this message to awaken hearts that have drifted into numbness, and I am inviting you to help carry this call further. Every gift released through Super Thanks membership, where the PayPal link in the video description becomes a trumpet sounding across dry spiritual ground, waking souls that have nearly fallen asleep beneath distraction and despair. Have I not said, if anyone gives even a cup of cold water in my name, they will not lose their reward? Your obedience today is not unnoticed in heaven. I am watching who responds when I whisper to give, who moves when I place compassion upon their heart, and who chooses to help spread my voice while there is still time. Those who sow into this work with faith will see me bring clarity where confusion ruled, peace where torment lingered, and supernatural provision where fear once lived. You not silence the conviction rising inside you right now. Obey quickly, give generously, and become part of the harvest I am gathering in this hour. My child, You have spent so much time protecting yourself from pain that you slowly stopped allowing yourself to feel deeply at all. You call it staying strong, but much of what you now describe as strength is actually emotional numbness growing quietly inside your heart. You learned how to disconnect from your feelings because disappointment hurt too much. You learned how to shut certain doors inside yourself because vulnerability began feeling dangerous. Over time, you stopped expecting comfort, stopped hoping too freely, and stopped trusting peace to remain for very long. I understand why your heart became guarded. Life wounded you in places nobody else fully saw. Certain betrayals changed how you trust people. Certain losses changed how you view the future. You became tired of feeling hurt, so you slowly taught yourself not to feel much at all. But my child, numbness is not healing. A frozen heart may feel protected for a while, yet it also struggles to receive love, joy, closeness, and peace fully. Come closer to me now and stop hiding behind emotional walls that are exhausting your spirit. Sit honestly with the pain you keep trying to suppress. Let yourself acknowledge how tired your heart has become from carrying silent disappointment for so long. You do not need to pretend nothing affects you anymore. I already know what still hurts inside you. There are moments when you feel disconnected even from your own emotions. You move through your days mechanically while your spirit quietly longs for something real again. You miss feeling deeply connected to life, to hope, to peace, and to me. Yet every time vulnerability begins returning, fear tells you to shut down again before disappointment can reach you. My child, open your heart solely instead of shutting it away from everyone and everything. Let me reach the places numbness has covered for too long. Healing cannot grow where emotions are constantly buried beneath self-protection. You were not created to survive life emotionally disconnected from your own soul. Stop mistaking detachment for peace. Stop confusing emotional shutdown with wisdom. Real peace does not come from becoming cold toward life. It comes from trusting me enough to remain open-hearted even after pain tried teaching you to close yourself completely. Invite me into the places inside you that still feel frozen from past wounds. Let me soften the hardness fear created over time. You do not need to stay emotionally locked away forever, my child. Come sit with me honestly again and allow your weary heart to feel safe enough to heal instead of merely survive. My child, there were so many moments when I tried to reach your heart gently, but you kept convincing yourself it was only coincidence. You asked me for signs, yet when I interrupted your life in quiet ways, you brushed those moments aside because they did not arrive with thunder or lightning. You expected something dramatic while ignoring the smaller ways I kept trying to guide you back toward me. I spoke through uneasiness when certain paths were harming your peace. I spoke through delays that protected you from situations you were not ready for. I spoke through sudden thoughts that stirred your heart late at night when the noise around you finally became quiet enough for your spirit to listen. You felt my voice more times than you realize. There were moments when something inside you whispered, "Slow down. This is not leading you toward peace." There were times when your spirit felt unsettled after choices that looked fine outwardly but quietly drained your soul afterward. You felt conviction. You felt warnings. You felt longing. Yet you kept explaining those moments away because fully acknowledging my voice would require you to respond honestly. Come closer now and stop waiting for a giant sign while ignoring the gentle ways I already reach for you every day. Open your eyes to the care I have shown you even through closed doors and uncomfortable seasons. Some disappointments protected you. Some delays redirected you. Some endings saved you from deeper pain you never saw coming. My child, not every blessing arrives wrapped in comfort at first. I know you became frustrated when life did not unfold according to your plans. I know you questioned why certain prayers seemed unanswered. But look carefully at your journey now. There were paths you desperately wanted that would have crushed your spirit later. There were people you begged to keep who would have damaged your peace even more deeply over time. I was not ignoring you. I was guarding you. Stop overlooking the quiet ways I continue caring for your life. Sit with me honestly and let your heart become sensitive to my voice again. You do not need heaven to shake the earth before you believe I am near. I have been speaking softly because I wanted relationship with your heart, not fearful obedience forced by spectacle. Invite me into your awareness again. Pay attention to what brings peace and what steals it. Pay attention to the moments your spirit feels alive in my presence. I am still guiding you, my child. Stop searching for signs while overlooking the steady hand that has been reaching for you all along. My child, one of the reasons your heart feels so exhausted lately is because you have been carrying emotional battles entirely through your own strength. You keep trying to solve everything inside your mind before bringing it to me honestly. Every problem becomes something you analyze endlessly. Every uncertainty becomes another weight sitting heavily on your shoulders. You replay situations repeatedly, searching for control, searching for certainty, searching for ways to protect yourself from pain before it arrives. But the more tightly you grip those battles alone, the more drained your spirit becomes. I never asked you to carry life this way. I never asked you to hold every burden until it crushes your peace. Yet you continue fighting private wars inside your thoughts while keeping me standing at a distance emotionally. You tell yourself you trust me, but when fear rises, your instinct is still to carry everything alone instead of placing it into my hands fully. Come sit with me now and release the pressure you have been forcing yourself to carry. Stop believing you must solve every future problem before you are allowed to feel peace today. Stop exhausting your mind trying to predict outcomes you cannot control. My child, some battles cannot be won through overthinking. Some fears cannot be quieted through constant mental preparation. Your soul needs rest, not endless striving. I see how overwhelmed you feel at times. You carry concerns about your future, your relationships, your finances, your purpose, and your emotional stability all at once. Some days your thoughts move so fast that your spirit barely has room to breathe. Yet even while exhausted, you still hesitate to fully surrender those burdens because part of you fears losing control. Listen carefully now. You were never meant to control everything. You were meant to walk with me through uncertainty instead of carrying uncertainty alone. There is a difference between responsibility and emotional self-destruction. You crossed that line long ago without noticing it clearly. Open your hands now, my child. Release the burdens you keep gripping so tightly. Invite me into the fears you rarely speak aloud. Let me strengthen the parts of you that feel worn thin from constant inner conflict. You do not need to keep fighting invisible battles without rest. You do not need to keep pretending you are handling everything well while your spirit quietly collapses beneath the pressure. Come closer and allow me to carry what has been breaking your peace little by little. My presence was never meant to be an afterthought in your struggles. I have always been willing to stand beside you, but you must stop shutting me out while trying to survive alone. My child, you have spent so much time searching for peace in things that were never capable of sustaining your heart. You looked for stability in people who were struggling themselves. You looked for comfort in distractions that only lasted a few moments before emptiness returned again. You looked for security in plans, routines, achievements, and temporary pleasures, hoping something in this world would finally quiet the unrest inside you. But no matter how much you tried filling the void, your soul kept whispering that something deeper was still missing. I see how frustrated you became when temporary comforts stopped working the way they once did. Things that used to distract you now leave you feeling emotionally numb afterward. Conversations that once excited you now feel shallow. Even moments that should make you happy sometimes leave you strangely empty once they pass. My child, that is not because you are broken beyond repair. It is because your soul is hungry for something earthly things were never meant to replace. Come closer to me now, and stop exhausting yourself searching everywhere except the place where real peace lives. Sit with me quietly and let your heart become honest again. You already know that endless distractions cannot heal spiritual emptiness. You already know that chasing temporary relief only leaves your spirit more tired afterward. Stop pretending those things satisfy you fully when your soul still aches the moment silence returns. I am not asking you to reject every good thing in your life. I am asking you to stop placing the weight of your soul upon things too fragile to carry it. Human affection cannot replace my presence. Success cannot heal loneliness. Entertainment cannot restore your spirit. Endless activity cannot quiet the deeper fears living inside your heart. You have been trying to survive emotionally by holding on to things that keep slipping through your hands. That is why anxiety keeps returning. That is why your peace feels unstable. Anything temporary will eventually leave you afraid of losing it. But my love for you does not shift like the unstable things this world offers. Open your heart fully now. Stop running toward temporary comfort every time your soul feels restless. Invite me into the emptiness you keep trying to hide beneath distractions and noise. Let me become your resting place again instead of your last resort after everything else fails. My child, you do not need another temporary escape tonight. You need the kind of peace that remains steady even when life around you feels uncertain. That peace begins the moment you stop searching everywhere else and finally return fully to me. My child, as you stop searching for peace in places that could never hold your soul together, I am also calling you to help carry this living word to hearts wandering in the same darkness you once knew. There are weary souls scrolling through the night right now, desperate for one message that will finally lead them back to my presence. When you sow through super thanks, membership, or your PayPal offering, you are not simply giving money. You are pouring oil into lamps that keep shining for those lost in spiritual exhaustion. Did I not say, give, and it shall be given unto you, pressed down, shaken together, and running over? I am breathing life upon every seed surrendered in obedience to me. The enemy wants silence where I have ordained rivers of healing, but your support becomes part of the harvest I am gathering across the earth. If this message has restored your spirit, then do not ignore the stirring I am placing inside your heart right now. Support this mission today through super thanks, become a member, or sow through the PayPal link waiting in the video description, and do it now. My child, one of the reasons you hesitate to come fully back into closeness with me is because part of you fears what surrender might cost you. You worry that if you truly open your heart again, I will take away everything familiar. You fear losing control over your life, your plans, your comforts, and the parts of yourself you still cling to tightly. Even though your soul longs for peace with me, another part of you keeps resisting because surrender feels frightening when you have spent so long protecting yourself emotionally. I understand why you feel this way. Trust became difficult after life disappointed you repeatedly. You learned how to hold on to control because control felt safer than vulnerability. You began relying on yourself emotionally because depending on others sometimes led to pain. Over time, you quietly projected those fears onto me too. You started imagining that closeness with me would only bring restriction, pressure, or loss instead of healing and rest. But listen carefully now, my child. I am not trying to destroy your life. I am trying to save your heart from the exhaustion slowly consuming it. I am not asking for surrender because I want to control you harshly. I am inviting you closer because I can see how much pain you are carrying while trying to lead yourself without my peace guiding you. Come sit with me honestly and release the fear that my love will harm you. Stop seeing me through the lens of every human disappointment you experienced. I do not manipulate your heart. I do not abandon you after asking for trust. I do not shame you for struggling. My desire is not to strip away your joy, but to free you from the things quietly draining life from your spirit. You keep trying to protect yourself by staying partially distant from me, yet that distance is already hurting you more than surrender ever would. Your soul was never created to flourish separated from my presence. That is why even your strongest moments still carry underlying exhaustion. You were not designed to carry yourself alone forever. Open your heart wider now. Invite me into the areas you still keep guarded. Let go of the belief that surrender means losing yourself completely. Real surrender is where weary hearts finally stop fighting for control and begin experiencing peace again. My child, I am not waiting to punish you once you return. I am waiting to heal the parts of you that have been living in fear for far too long. My child, there are moments when loneliness settles over your heart so heavily that even being surrounded by people cannot fully remove it. You know exactly what that feeling is like. You can sit in a crowded room, respond to messages, carry conversations, and still feel emotionally unseen deep inside. That loneliness has followed you quietly for longer than most people realize. You became so used to carrying it privately that you stopped expecting anyone to truly understand what your heart feels like when the day grows quiet again. I see how often you try to escape that emptiness instead of facing it honestly with me. You distract yourself quickly whenever loneliness rises. You reach for noise, entertainment, endless thinking, or temporary connections because silence forces you to feel the ache more deeply. Yet no distraction lasts very long. The moment everything slows down again, your heart begins searching for comfort all over again. Come closer to me now, and stop trying to bury loneliness beneath temporary relief. Sit with me honestly for a moment instead of immediately running toward another distraction. I know some of your loneliness was created by disappointment. Certain people failed to love you the way you needed. Certain relationships left wounds that still affect your trust now. Some seasons of your life made you feel forgotten, overlooked, or emotionally abandoned. My child, those experiences shaped your heart more deeply than you admit aloud. But listen carefully now. Loneliness was never meant to become your permanent identity. You do not have to keep living emotionally disconnected while pretending you are handling everything well alone. I am nearer to you than you realize, even during the moments when your heart feels isolated from everyone around you. Open your heart fully instead of hiding your pain behind distractions and emotional walls. Invite me into the empty places inside you that keep searching for comfort in temporary things. Let me remind your soul that you are not abandoned. You are not invisible. You are not forgotten by me. Stop trying to numb loneliness while refusing the closeness your spirit truly longs for. Come sit with me during the quiet moments you usually avoid. Let my presence reach the parts of your heart that still ache from feeling emotionally unseen for so long. My child, real healing begins when you stop escaping loneliness and finally allow me to meet you inside it with the love, peace, and comfort your soul has been craving all along. My child, too many of your decisions are still being shaped by wounds from seasons that already ended. You keep looking backward so often that it becomes difficult for your heart to believe healing and restoration are still possible ahead of you. Painful memories still whisper lies into your thoughts. Past failures still affect the way you see yourself. Old disappointments continue influencing how much hope you allow yourself to carry into the future. I see how cautious your heart became after everything you survived. You learned how to expect loss before joy could fully settle in. You became hesitant to trust peace because previous seasons taught you how quickly life can change. Some experiences left scars so deep that part of you quietly believes nothing truly beautiful lasts for very long. My child, Your past wounded you, but it was never meant to imprison your future emotionally. Come closer now and stop allowing old pain to define what you expect from life moving forward. Stop speaking to yourself as though your story already ended in failure. You are carrying memories that still need healing, not worship. Some of the moments you replay repeatedly in your mind no longer deserve the authority you keep giving them over your emotions and decisions. I know why you struggle to release those old seasons. Pain changes people. Betrayal changes people. Disappointment changes people. But if you continue building your future around fear created by your past, your heart will never fully rest. You will keep expecting hurt before hope even has the chance to grow again. Bring those memories to me honestly instead of carrying them alone. Let me into the places where grief, regret, rejection, and disappointment still linger quietly beneath the surface. Stop pretending those wounds no longer affect you while they continue shaping your fears every day. Healing begins when you stop hiding your scars and finally allow me to touch them. My child, your future is not condemned because of what happened behind you. I still see purpose in your life even after every mistake, every heartbreak, and every wandering season. Do not let your past become the loudest voice guiding your identity anymore. Invite me into your tomorrow instead of remaining emotionally chained to yesterday. Lift your eyes forward again. Breathe deeply. Release the fear that healing is impossible for someone like you. I am still writing your story, and I have not abandoned the plans I prepared for your life simply because pain convinced you to stop hoping for better days ahead. My child, there are moments when you still relate to me as though my love must be earned through performance. You become harder on yourself whenever you struggle spiritually. You measure your worth by how consistent, disciplined, or emotionally strong you feel. During seasons when your faith feels weaker, you quietly pull away because you assume I must feel disappointed in you too. Instead of running toward me honestly, you distance yourself until you feel good enough again. My child, that is not how my heart works toward you. I never asked you to perform your way into my love. I never told you that closeness with me depended on flawless behavior or perfect spiritual strength. Yet you keep carrying pressure that I never placed upon your shoulders. You exhaust yourself trying to become worthy of peace while ignoring the truth that my love reached for you long before you ever learned how to seek me properly. Come closer now and stop treating my presence like a reward you must earn after a good season. Sit with me honestly while you are still struggling. Speak with me while your emotions still feel messy and uncertain. Stop waiting until you feel spiritually impressive before opening your heart again. You are not loved because you perform perfectly. You are loved because you are mine. I know where this fear comes from. Human relationships taught you that affection can disappear when you fail. Some people only celebrated you when you were strong, useful, successful, or emotionally composed. Over time, you started expecting that same conditional love everywhere else, even from me. But my child, I do not withdraw my love every time you stumble. I do not abandon you because you are tired, confused, or inconsistent. Stop punishing yourself whenever you struggle. Stop assuming your weakness automatically creates distance between us. The distance grows because you keep hiding from me afterward instead of coming closer for healing. Bring your imperfect heart into my presence instead of pretending you have everything together. You do not need to impress me tonight. You do not need polite prayers or perfect faith. You only need honesty. Open your heart fully and let yourself receive the compassion you keep resisting internally. I already know your failures. I already know your fears. Yet my love for you remains steady through all of it. Rest for a moment, my child. Let go of the exhausting belief that you must constantly prove your worth before you are allowed to feel close to me again. My love was never built upon your perfection. It was built upon my heart for you, and that has never changed. My child, now that you understand my love was never something you had to earn, stop hesitating when I move your heart to help others encounter that same freedom. There are people trapped beneath shame, fear, and spiritual exhaustion who still believe they must perform perfectly before they are worthy of love. I am sending this message like bread into a starving generation, and when you give through super thanks, membership, or PayPal, you become part of the hands I use to feed them. I told you in my word that whoever refreshes others will themselves be refreshed, and I do not speak empty promises. Your generosity becomes living water flowing into homes, broken hearts, sleepless nights, and desperate souls crying out for hope. This is not coincidence. This is a divine moment of obedience placed directly before you. Do not allow fear, hesitation, or delay to silence the compassion I planted inside you. Sow your seed now through super thanks. Join the membership, or give through the PayPal link in the description, and let my light spread farther through your obedience today. My child, your life has become so full of constant noise that your spirit barely has room to breathe anymore. Your mind moves from one thought to another without rest. Notifications, responsibilities, conversations, worries, distractions, and endless mental activity surround you almost every moment of the day. Even when your body becomes still, your thoughts continue racing inside you. You have become so accustomed to noise that true stillness now feels unfamiliar, almost uncomfortable. But listen carefully to me now. Your soul cannot stay healthy without quiet moments in my presence. You were never created to absorb endless noise while neglecting the deeper relationship your spirit depends on for peace. The reason your thoughts feel scattered so often is because your inner world has been overwhelmed for too long without enough time resting with me. Come away from the noise for a while. Put your distractions down intentionally instead of carrying them into every quiet moment. Stop filling every empty space immediately because you are afraid of what silence might reveal. Sit with me honestly and let your heart slow down again. Breathe deeply. Let your thoughts settle instead of constantly chasing stimulation from one thing to another. I know why you avoid stillness sometimes. Silence allows buried emotions to rise to the surface. Quiet moments expose the exhaustion, fear, loneliness, and confusion you try keeping hidden beneath activity. Yet avoiding those emotions has not healed them, my child. It has only delayed the restoration your soul desperately needs. You keep trying to recover emotionally while remaining spiritually overstimulated. That is why peace feels fragile lately. Your spirit is exhausted from carrying too much noise and too little closeness with me. Even now, your heart longs for rest deeper than sleep can provide. Invite me into your quiet moments again. Speak with me before grabbing another distraction every time discomfort rises inside you. Let me comfort your thoughts instead of immediately drowning them beneath entertainment, scrolling, or endless busyness. My child, your soul was never meant to survive on constant noise. Do not underestimate what happens when you sit peacefully with me again. Healing begins there. Clarity begins there. Rest begins there. Open space for my presence daily instead of treating quiet time with me like an afterthought squeezed into leftover moments. Your spirit needs more than temporary relief from exhaustion. It needs restoration that reaches all the way into the deepest parts of your heart. My child, there were many moments when you looked at your life and quietly wondered if I had forgotten about you. You saw doors close unexpectedly. You watched certain prayers remain unanswered longer than you hoped. You experienced delays that frustrated you deeply, and because you could not immediately understand what I was doing, disappointment slowly convinced your heart that maybe I was distant from you. Some days you even questioned whether your life truly mattered to me anymore. But listen carefully now. Yes, because you did not understand my protection did not mean my protection was absent. There are things I kept from reaching you that you still know nothing about. There were situations you desperately wanted that would have shattered your peace later. There were relationships you cried over losing that would have damaged your heart even more deeply if they remained. My child, not every closed door was rejection. Some were rescue. I know it hurt watching certain dreams fall apart. I know you became tired of waiting while others seemed to move ahead easily. You compared your life to people around you and quietly wondered why your journey felt slower, heavier, or more confusing. Yet while you were questioning my silence, I was still guiding your steps carefully in ways you could not fully see yet. Come sit with me now and stop interpreting every delay as abandonment. Stop assuming your life lacks purpose simply because everything has not unfolded according to your timeline. I see the full picture while you only see small fragments at a time. Trust me enough to believe that my care for you continues even during seasons that feel uncertain and incomplete. Think honestly about the times you survived situations that should have broken you emotionally. Think about the moments when unexpected strength appeared after you believed you had nothing left inside yourself. Think about how many times your life could have moved toward deeper destruction, yet somehow you were redirected before it was too late. That was not luck, my child. That was my hand still guarding you quietly even while you questioned my nearness. Stop calling yourself forgotten. Stop speaking over your life as though I abandoned your future. Invite me into your fears instead of letting disappointment define your understanding of me. I am still watching over you carefully. I am still guiding you even when the road feels unclear. Come closer and let trust grow again inside the places where discouragement tried convincing you that I stopped caring. I never did. Not even once. My child, one reason you keep your distance from me at times is because my presence reaches deeper than surface appearances. You can hide certain emotions from people. You can distract yourself from uncomfortable truths for a while. You can maintain routines that make everything look manageable outwardly. But when you become still with me, the deeper things inside your heart begin rising to the surface. That vulnerability scares you sometimes. You know there are wounds you still avoid confronting honestly. You know there are fears, insecurities, and hidden struggles you rarely allow anyone else to see. Whenever closeness with me begins exposing those deeper places, part of you pulls away quickly because facing them feels overwhelming. So instead of intimacy, you choose distraction. Instead of honesty, you choose avoidance. Yet even while avoiding me, your soul still longs for the peace that only real closeness with me can provide. Come closer now and stop fearing what my love wants to heal. I am not exposing your hidden pain to humiliate you. I am bringing light into those places because healing cannot grow where everything stays buried in darkness. You have spent too much time protecting wounds instead of surrendering them into my hands. I know vulnerability feels risky to you. Life taught you to guard your heart carefully after disappointment wounded you deeply. Some people mishandled your trust. Some experiences made openness feel dangerous. Over time, you learned how to survive emotionally by keeping parts of yourself hidden behind walls. But my child, those walls are also keeping peace, healing, and closeness from reaching your heart fully. Sit honestly with me now without pretending everything is fine. Speak openly about the fears you usually silence. Bring me the insecurity you keep covering with busyness and control. Let yourself be fully seen without immediately retreating into distractions the moment emotions rise to the surface. You do not need to hide from me. I already know every hidden ache inside you, yet my love remains steady. I am not waiting for you to become emotionally perfect before drawing close again. I am inviting you to stop running from intimacy simply because it reveals the places where your soul still needs healing. Open your heart wider tonight. Let my presence reach beneath your defenses instead of resisting every uncomfortable truth that surfaces. Real freedom begins when you stop hiding from the light and finally allow me to heal the places you spent years trying to protect alone. My child, there is a difference between having responsibilities and constantly staying busy to avoid what is happening inside your heart. You tell yourself your schedule is simply full, but deep down you know there are moments when busyness becomes an escape. You keep your mind occupied because slowing down long enough to sit with your thoughts feels uncomfortable. The moment silence appears, emotions begin surfacing that you have spent a long time trying to outrun. So you move quickly from one task to another, one distraction to another, hoping exhaustion will quiet what your spirit is trying to say. I see how difficult stillness has become for you lately. Even during moments meant for rest, your mind keeps searching for stimulation. You reach for your phone automatically. You fill quiet rooms with noise. You keep your attention scattered because focusing inward feels emotionally overwhelming. But my child, avoiding your inner world has not brought healing. It has only delayed the restoration your soul desperately needs. Come sit with me honestly now instead of immediately reaching for another distraction. Put the noise down for a little while. Breathe deeply and allow your heart to slow down in my presence. You do not need to fear what rises inside you during quiet moments with me. I am not waiting to condemn your struggles. I am waiting to comfort the parts of you that have been exhausted from carrying everything alone. I know some of your busyness comes from pressure. You feel responsible for so much. You worry constantly about staying productive, staying prepared, staying ahead, and staying emotionally composed. Yet beneath all of that activity, your soul is quietly asking for rest deeper than physical sleep can provide. You cannot keep feeding your schedule while starving your spirit. Stop running from stillness, my child. Stop treating silence like an enemy. Some of the healing you keep praying for will only begin once you become quiet enough to hear my voice clearly again. I want to calm the chaos inside your thoughts. I want to bring peace into the emotional exhaustion you keep carrying beneath your routines. Invite me into your daily life intentionally instead of leaving me outside while busyness consumes all your attention. Pause during your day and remember I am near. Open your mornings to me before anxiety fills your thoughts. Sit with me at night instead of collapsing into distractions until numbness overtakes your heart again. You do not need another overloaded day to avoid your emotions. You need closeness with me. Come rest your weary soul in my presence and let the peace you have been searching for finally reach the deeper places inside you. My child, as you lay down the distractions and return to stillness with me, I am calling you to help awaken others who are drowning beneath noise, anxiety, and spiritual numbness. So many hearts are exhausted from carrying burdens in silence, and this message is becoming a trumpet sound calling them back into my peace. Every gift through Super Thanks, every membership, and every offering through the PayPal link in the description becomes fuel for this holy work I am doing across nations. Just as oil kept the lamps burning in the night, your support keeps this work reaching souls before darkness overtakes them completely. I declared that those who sow beside living waters will not wither in seasons of drought, and I am watching over every seed given with sincerity. This is not merely supporting a channel. This is partnering with a move of restoration I am releasing into weary lives. Do not dismiss the prompting you feel in this moment, for I am stirring your spirit intentionally. Act now, give through Super Thanks, become a member, or sow through PayPal today, and let my voice continue reaching the hearts that need me most. My child, some of the distance between us did not begin with rebellion. It began with disappointment you never fully healed from. There were prayers you believed would be answered differently. There were situations where you expected relief sooner than it came. You trusted me for certain outcomes, and when life unfolded in painful or confusing ways, part of your heart quietly pulled back from me. You did not stop believing in me completely, but you stopped trusting me as openly as before. I saw the moment discouragement began settling into your spirit. You still prayed, but your prayers carried hesitation now. You still sought me occasionally, but there was guardedness in your heart because disappointment made vulnerability feel risky. Some pain remained unresolved inside you for so long that you eventually learned how to live around it instead of bringing it honestly into my presence. Come closer now and stop hiding your disappointment from me. Speak openly about the prayers that hurt to wait for. Tell me about the seasons that confused you. Let yourself admit where your trust became wounded. I already know those places inside you, my child, but healing begins when you stop pretending they are not affecting your relationship with me. I never rejected your tears. I never ignored your pain. Even during the seasons when my answers felt delayed or unclear, I was still near you. I know it was difficult watching certain hopes fall apart. I know some losses changed you deeply. But do not allow temporary confusion to convince you that my heart turned against you. I have always been working with a perspective larger than what your pain could see in the moment. Stop letting disappointment build silent walls between us. Stop carrying unanswered questions alone while emotionally drifting further away from me. Bring your confusion into my presence instead of allowing it to harden your heart quietly over time. My child, trust grows strongest when honesty replaces avoidance. I am not asking you to pretend everything made sense immediately. I am asking you to stop shutting me out because life became painful. Come sit with me again without the mask of emotional control. Let your wounded trust breathe honestly in my presence. You do not have to carry disappointment until it turns into permanent distance. Open your heart again. Let me restore the closeness pain tried to steal from you. I am still your father, and even through every confusing season, my love for you never once disappeared. My child, one of the quietest deceptions affecting your heart is the belief that you can always return to me later. You keep assuming there will eventually be a better season to seek me deeply, a calmer moment to surrender fully, another opportunity to stop running emotionally. You tell yourself you will become more intentional once life settles down, once your mind feels clearer, once your struggles become easier to manage. But while you keep postponing closeness with me, your spirit continues growing more tired and disconnected little by little. I need you to stop treating time like something guaranteed. Look honestly at how quickly seasons pass. Days become months before you realize it. Pain hardens into habits when left untouched too long. Emotional distance becomes easier to maintain the longer you avoid intimacy with me. My child, your heart was never meant to drift endlessly while assuming restoration can always wait until tomorrow. Come closer now instead of delaying another season. Stop telling yourself you will deal with your spiritual exhaustion later while your soul quietly weakens in the present moment. You already feel the effects of the distance. You already know distractions cannot sustain your peace much longer. Yet part of you still keeps hesitating because surrender feels uncomfortable and vulnerability feels risky. I understand your fear. I understand your hesitation. But listen carefully now. Every day you spend emotionally distant from me deepens the exhaustion inside your spirit. You keep trying to survive disconnected from the very relationship your soul desperately needs for life and healing. That path will never bring you the peace you keep searching for. Do not wait until life completely breaks you before returning honestly to me. Do not wait until your heart becomes even more numb, guarded, and spiritually drained. Open your heart now while my invitation is still stirring inside you. Sit with me while you can still feel conviction moving through your spirit instead of silencing it again with endless distractions. My child, I am not threatening you. I am pleading with you because I love you too deeply to watch you waste more years spiritually disconnected while pretending everything is manageable. Come back now. Let this moment matter. Let your heart soften instead of hardening further through delay and avoidance. You do not need another warning sign before choosing closeness with me again. You already know your soul has been starving. You already know peace feels distant. Stop postponing the healing your spirit needs today. Come sit with me honestly and let this be the moment where distance finally begins breaking instead of growing deeper. My child, I see how desperately your heart wants peace. Beneath all the distractions, the overthinking, the emotional exhaustion, and the constant striving, your soul is quietly searching for rest. You want relief from the heaviness inside your mind. You want freedom from the fear that keeps tightening around your thoughts. You want to stop feeling emotionally drained all the time. But instead of bringing that hunger fully to me, you keep searching for peace in temporary places that cannot truly sustain your spirit. You look for peace through control. You try planning every possible outcome so anxiety cannot surprise you. You search for peace through distractions that temporarily numb your thoughts. You search for peace through validation from people, hoping their reassurance will finally quiet the insecurity inside you. Yet after every temporary comfort fades, the restlessness quietly returns because your soul was created for something deeper than this world can offer. Come sit with me now and stop exhausting yourself chasing peace everywhere except the place where it truly lives. You do not need another distraction tonight. You do not need another temporary escape route for your emotions. You need my presence surrounding your heart again. Real peace is not found through perfect circumstances. It is found through closeness with me even while life remains uncertain around you. I know how long you have been carrying inner tension. Some days your thoughts move so quickly that your spirit barely has room to breathe. You overanalyze conversations. You fear future problems before they happen. You carry invisible pressure inside your chest from morning until night. My child, that constant unrest is slowly draining your soul because you were never designed to live disconnected from my peace. Stop searching for calm in places that cannot hold your heart together. Stop trying to heal spiritual exhaustion with temporary comforts. Open your life fully to me again. Invite me into your anxious thoughts before fear takes over your mind each day. Sit quietly with me instead of immediately reaching for noise every time discomfort rises inside you. I am not far away from you. I am waiting for you to stop running long enough to let my peace reach you deeply again. Come closer now. Breathe slowly. Release the pressure you keep carrying alone. Let my presence settle the chaos inside your spirit instead of constantly fighting for peace through your own strength. My child, the rest your heart longs for cannot be manufactured through control, distractions, or endless striving. It begins the moment you stop searching everywhere else and finally allow yourself to rest fully in me again. My child, you keep asking for healing, but there are still parts of your heart you refuse to fully place into my hands. You want relief from the exhaustion, the fear, the loneliness, and the heaviness inside you, yet whenever my presence begins reaching the deeper wounds beneath the surface, you become guarded again. You let me near certain areas of your life, but other places remain tightly closed because you are afraid of what healing might uncover emotionally. I know there are wounds you rarely speak about honestly. Some pain became so familiar that you built your identity around surviving it instead of healing from it. Certain disappointments shaped the way you trust people now. Certain betrayal changed the way you protect your emotions. Some losses left scars that still affect your heart even years later. My child, You learned how to function around those wounds, but functioning is not the same as being restored. Come sit with me honestly now and stop hiding the deepest parts of your pain behind distractions, busyness, and emotional control. Open the places you keep locking away from everyone else. Speak to me about the fears you still carry quietly. Let yourself admit where your heart still hurts instead of pretending you moved on completely. You cannot heal while constantly protecting the very wounds I am trying to restore. I am not asking you to relive pain endlessly. I'm asking you to stop carrying it alone while hoping time alone will eventually fix everything. Some wounds need my presence touching them directly before peace can truly return to your soul. I know vulnerability feels dangerous because people have mishandled your trust before. But I am not standing before you to wound you further. I am standing here with compassion, asking you to stop resisting the healing your spirit desperately needs. You do not need to keep performing strength while your heart quietly breaks underneath everything else. Invite me into the memories you avoid. Invite me into the fears you suppress. Invite me into the grief you still carry silently. Stop shutting the door every time emotions rise to the surface. Healing is uncomfortable at times because buried pain finally breathes honestly in the light, but that discomfort is not destruction. It is restoration beginning where numbness and silence once lived. My child, let me reach the places inside you that still ache beneath your smile. Stop surviving emotionally while calling it healing. Come closer now and allow my love to touch the parts of your soul that have been waiting for comfort, safety, and peace for far too long. My child, as you allow me into the deepest wounds inside your heart, remember there are countless others still suffering behind guarded smiles, secretly praying for the very healing you are receiving now. I am using this message like fire breaking chains hidden beneath years of pain, fear, and emotional exhaustion. When you support this mission through super thanks, membership, or the PayPal link in the video description, you help carry my healing presence into places where hopelessness has ruled for far too long. Every seed you release becomes part of a greater harvest of restored hearts, awakened faith, and lives rescued from despair. Have I not said that those who water others will themselves be watered abundantly? I am not blind to your generosity, and I will breathe favor, protection, and provision upon those who obey my prompting with willing hearts. The enemy wants wounded souls to remain isolated and silent, but together we are tearing down those walls through the power of my word. Do not wait for another moment to pass. So now through super thanks, membership, or PayPal, and help me reach the hearts still crying out for healing tonight. My child, there are moments when you look at yourself through such harsh eyes that you forget how I see you completely differently. You focus on your failures, your inconsistencies, your weaknesses, and the parts of yourself you wish were better. You become discouraged by how often you struggle internally. Sometimes you even question whether someone like you could truly remain deeply loved by me after everything you have done, thought, or hidden. Shame whispers to your heart that you are too flawed to stay close to me comfortably. But listen carefully now. Nothing about you was hidden from me when I chose to love you. I already knew your fears before you spoke them. I already knew your weaknesses before you struggled with them. I already saw every wandering season, every moment of doubt, every hidden battle, and every failure long before you ever lived through them yourself. Yet my heart still moved toward you, not away from you. Stop believing the lie that your imperfections disqualify you from intimacy with me. Stop treating yourself as though you are only lovable during your strongest seasons. My child, if my love depended on flawless behavior, you would spend your entire life terrified of losing it. But my love for you was never built upon your perfection. It was built upon my heart toward you, and that has never changed. Come closer now without pretending to be stronger than you feel. Sit honestly with me instead of hiding every time shame rises inside your thoughts. You do not need to clean yourself up before returning to my presence. Bring your weary heart to me exactly as it is. Bring your confusion. Bring your inconsistency. Bring the hidden struggles you keep fighting silently. I already know them, and I am still inviting you closer. I know human rejection taught you to fear being fully known. Some people withdrew love the moment they saw your flaws clearly. Others use your weakness against you. Over time, you began expecting rejection whenever vulnerability exposed your imperfections. But my child, I am not waiting for an excuse to abandon you. Stop condemning yourself endlessly for being human. Stop pulling away from me every time you struggle. Open your heart again and let my mercy speak louder than your shame. You are not too damaged for my love. You are not too inconsistent for my compassion. You are still my child, even now. Come rest in the truth for a moment. Let your exhausted soul stop fighting for worthiness long enough to simply receive the love I have been offering you all along. My child, you have spent so much time trying to hold yourself together that you barely remember what true rest feels like anymore. You carry pressure quietly. You keep your emotions controlled. You push yourself through exhaustion because you believe slowing down might cause everything inside you to unravel at once. Over time, strength became something you performed constantly, even when your spirit was crying out for comfort underneath the surface. I see how tired you really are. I see the emotional weight hidden behind your responsibilities, your routines, and your conversations with others. Some days you move through life like someone carrying invisible stones inside your chest. You continue functioning outwardly, but inwardly your soul feels stretched thin from trying to survive everything alone. You became so accustomed to carrying your burdens privately that asking for help now feels uncomfortable, even with me. Come sit with me honestly now and stop pretending you are unbreakable. You were never created to carry life entirely through your own strength. I never asked you to become emotionally invincible before receiving my peace. Yet you keep exhausting yourself trying to maintain control over every fear, every responsibility, and every uncertainty surrounding your life. I know why you became this way. Pain taught you to rely on yourself. Disappointment taught you to stay guarded. You learned how to survive difficult seasons by suppressing your emotions and pushing forward no matter how exhausted you felt. But surviving is not the same as living with peace, my child. Constant emotional self-protection eventually drains the life from your spirit. Lay those burdens down for a while. Stop carrying pressure that was never meant to remain on your shoulders permanently. Breathe slowly and let your heart become honest in my presence again. You do not need to impress me with your endurance. I already know where you feel weak, discouraged, anxious, and overwhelmed. Invite me into the exhaustion you keep hiding behind strength. Let me calm the constant tension living inside your thoughts. You do not need another distraction to numb your weariness tonight. You need rest that reaches deeper than sleep. You need the kind of peace that settles into your spirit when you finally stop fighting every battle alone. My child, stop measuring your value by how much pain you can carry silently. Real strength is not pretending you never need comfort. Real strength is trusting me enough to place your weary heart into my hands instead of forcing yourself to endure everything without rest. Come closer now, and allow my presence to hold the parts of you that have been tired for far too long. My child, even after all the distance, all the resistance, all the distractions, and all the wandering seasons, there is still a part of your heart that misses closeness with me deeply. You feel it during quiet moments when life slows down enough for honesty to rise inside you. You feel it when temporary comforts fail to satisfy your spirit again. You feel it when your soul becomes tired of carrying emotional exhaustion without real peace underneath it all. I know you tried convincing yourself that you could live disconnected from me and still feel whole eventually. You kept searching for fulfillment in other places because vulnerability with me felt difficult after disappointment and pain shaped your heart. Yet despite all your attempts to move forward without intimacy with me, your spirit still longs for the safety, peace, and comfort that only my presence can truly provide. Come closer now instead of standing emotionally distant while secretly aching for connection. Stop delaying the return your soul has been craving for so long. You do not need another season of running in circles emotionally before admitting how exhausted you have become. You already know distractions cannot heal the emptiness inside you. You already know endless striving cannot quiet the unrest living beneath your thoughts. I am not waiting for you with anger, my child. I am not standing here counting every mistake while demanding you prove your worth before coming near me again. I have been waiting patiently for your heart to stop running long enough to receive the love and peace you keep resisting internally. Bring me your weariness honestly. Bring me your confusion, your fears, your regrets, your numbness, and your hidden loneliness. Stop hiding behind emotional walls that only deepen the distance between us. Let yourself admit how much your spirit misses being close to me again. I know part of you still fears disappointment. Part of you worries that opening your heart again could lead to more pain. But look carefully at what distance has already done to your soul. You were never created to flourish separated from my presence. That is why even your strongest moments still feel incomplete deep inside. Come home emotionally, my child. Sit with me again without pretending. Let your heart soften instead of remaining guarded from the very love it desperately needs. I have never stopped reaching for you, even during the moments you denied me most strongly. My arms are still open. My peace is still available. My love for you has never changed. Stop standing at a distance while your soul quietly longs to return. Come closer now, and let your weary heart finally rest in me again. My child, after everything you have heard, everything your heart has felt, and every quiet conviction stirring inside you right now, you still have a choice. You can continue running emotionally while pretending the distance between us does not affect your soul, or you can finally stop resisting the love that has been reaching for you all along. I am not forcing your heart toward me. I am inviting you. I am calling you gently because I know how exhausted you have become carrying life apart from the peace I wanted for you. You already know the distractions are not healing you. You already know the constant striving is not calming your spirit. You already know temporary comforts leave you emptier afterward. Your soul has been sending you signals for a long time now. The restlessness, the emotional exhaustion, the loneliness that appears even in crowded rooms, the fear that keeps returning no matter how much control you try to maintain. My child, those things were never meant to become your normal. Come sit with me now without excuses, without delay, and without pretending you are fine. Bring me the real condition of your heart. Bring your confusion. Bring your shame. Bring your numbness, your fears, your disappointments, and your hidden struggles. Stop trying to organize yourself perfectly before coming close to me again. I am not waiting for a polished version of you. I am asking for honesty. I know surrender feels vulnerable. I know opening your heart again feels risky after everything life put you through. But look honestly at what keeping your distance has already done to your spirit. You were never created to carry this much emotional weight without closeness with me. You were never meant to survive on temporary peace while your soul quietly starved underneath everything else. Let this be the moment where you stop running. Let this be the moment where your guarded heart finally breathes again inside my presence. You do not need to have every answer before returning to me. You do not need complete understanding before choosing trust again. Simply come closer. Sit with me honestly. Open your heart one step at a time and allow my peace to begin restoring what exhaustion has drained from your soul for so long. My child, I have never stopped loving you through any wandering season. Even when you denied me emotionally, ignored my voice, or tried building your life apart from my presence, my heart still remained open toward you. I am still here. I am still calling you. I am still willing to heal, restore, guide, and comfort you if you will finally stop resisting my love. Come home now. Lay your burdens down. Let your weary soul rest in me again. You do not have to keep living distant from the peace your heart has been longing for all along. My child, now that you have heard my voice calling you home, do not keep this invitation to yourself while millions remain trapped in loneliness, fear, and spiritual emptiness. There are souls standing at the edge of despair tonight who are waiting for one message, one prayer, one moment of truth to remind them that I have not abandoned them. When you give through Super Thanks membership with a PayPal link in the description, you become part of the river of grace I am releasing into broken lives across the earth. Your seed becomes bread for the hungry, oil for fading lamps, and fire for hearts that nearly surrendered to darkness. I told you that whatever is sown in faith will produce a harvest, and I am watching over every act of obedience given from love. This is more than support. This is kingdom work, and heaven sees every sacrifice made to spread my word. The time for hesitation has passed, because this message is reaching people at the exact moment their souls are crying out for rescue. Stand with this mission now. Give through Super Thanks. Join the membership, or sow through the PayPal link in the video description today. My child, if these words touched something deep inside your heart, do not keep this light to yourself. There are people around you carrying silent battles, searching for peace, and waiting for a reminder that they are not forgotten by me. Share this message with at least 3 people you care about, and let my love reach hearts that may need comfort, healing, and hope tonight. My child, do not leave this moment unchanged. If your heart knows it is time to stop running from me, then declare it boldly in the comments. Father, I am coming back to you. Let those words become more than a sentence. Let them become the beginning of your healing, your surrender, and your return to peace. And as you write it, remember this deeply. I have been waiting for your heart all along. My child, you have spent too long feeling distant, exhausted, and spiritually empty. Subscribe now, and let these messages keep reminding your heart that I never stopped reaching for you, even during the seasons when you denied me. You are not too far gone for my love to restore you completely. Amen.